very good evening and welcome to the news tonight. I'm Tracy Shilchi, and in the next 30 minutes I'll be getting you the day's top stories from India and across the world, starting with the headlines. Uttarakhand government in crisis as Speaker disallows opposition's demand for vote on the finance bill and passes it. Jat leaders extend the deadline on reservations issue even as prohibitory orders are imposed and mobile and internet services are suspended in many places in Haryana. Home Minister Rajnath Singh allays fears of a renewal of violence in the state. Government slashes interest rates payable on small savings including PPF and the Kisan Vikas Patra. Interest rate on Public Provident Fund scheme cut from 8.7% to 8.1%. After almost a month in jail, JNU students Omar Khalid and Anirban Bhattacharya are granted interim bail for 6 months in the sedition case. And North Korea test fires 2 more ballistic missiles after fresh US sanctions were imposed on the isolated state. Top story, the Congress government in Uttarakhand plunged into a political crisis today. The Speaker disallowed a division on the state finance bill when the members gathered, triggering utter chaos in the assembly. The BJP claimed that 9 rebel Congress leaders had crossed over to their side in the House of 70 members. Earlier, reports said that the BJP planned to attempt negative voting that would have scuttled the passage of the budget bill, leading to a fall of the government. In fact, the rebels reportedly include top Congress leaders like former Chief Minister Vijay Mallya, Harak Singh Rawat and Satpal Maharaj. We'll keep an eye out on developments there. Meanwhile, the Jat community leaders today extended the deadline on considering their demand for reservations till the 3rd of April. This came after lengthy meetings with state government officials, including the DGP and Haryana Chief Secretary. After the meeting, Jat leaders described the attitude of the state officials as extremely cooperative and helpful to their cause. Here's a report.
Union Home Minister Rajnath Singh on Friday allayed fears over the possible renewal of the quota agitation by Jats in Haryana. Hoping for an early solution, Rajnath Singh called up Haryana Chief Minister Manohar Lal Khattar to take stock of the situation.
हमारी आज भी हरियाणा के मुख्यमंत्री से बातचीत हुई है। वैसे चिंता की बात नहीं है, सारी समस्या का समाधान निकलेगा।
A 72-hour ultimatum to the Haryana government by the Jats to address their demands ended on Thursday. They said they will announce their plan after meeting the Haryana Chief Secretary and Director General of Police.
गुमराह क्यों कर रहे हैं ये? जो बात की है, जो वायदा किया है, वो पूरा करें। और हमने भी तो दिया था, हमने किसी को छेड़ा नहीं, लेकिन किसी को छोड़ा भी नहीं। हर उसको वर्ग को आरक्षण का लाभ मिल रहा था। तो इस प्रकार से कोई ना कोई बातचीत से अब विवेक, ये सरकार को अपने विवेक इस्तेमाल करना है, रास्ते निकल सकते हैं।
The state government blocked internet services in Haryana's Rohtak and Sonipat districts as precautionary measures against possible violence in the state.
सरकार का निश्चय है ये हरियाणा सरकार का कि विधेयक लेके आएंगे, उसकी तैयारी भी वो कर रहे हैं। और आज जो जाट आरक्षण से संबंधित संस्थाएं हैं उनको बुला के उनसे भी सलाह मशवरा किया जा रहा है और इसके अच्छे परिणाम होंगे।
The centre sent 8,000 paramilitary personnel to be deployed in 5 sensitive districts. Flag marches were also carried out to instill confidence among the people. Around 300 paramilitary personnel are also deployed at the Munna Canal that supplies water to Delhi. 30 people were killed in the widespread violence in the state last month in the first phase of the agitation. Bureau Report, Rajya Sabha Television.
Meanwhile, in a move that will hit the common man, the government today slashed interest rates payable on small savings including PPF and the Kisan Vikas Patra in an attempt to align them closer to market rates. As a part of its February 16th decision to revise interest rates on small savings every quarter, the interest rate on Public Provident Fund scheme will be cut to 8.1% for April 1 to June 30 from 8.7% at present. Similarly, the interest rate on Kisan Vikas Patra will be cut to 7.8% from 8.7%. The popular 5-year National Savings Certificates will earn an interest rate of 8.1% from April 1st as against 8.5% at present. A 5-year monthly income account will fetch 7.8% as opposed to 8.4% now. The Girl Child Savings Scheme, Sukanya Samriddhi account, will see an interest rate of 8.6% as against 9.2%. Senior Citizen Savings Scheme of 5 years would earn 8.6% interest compared to the current 9.3%. Meanwhile, the centre is unlikely to intervene in the ongoing dispute between Punjab and Haryana on sharing of water through the Sutlej-Yamuna link canal after Haryana Congress's demand for intervention. Home Ministry has clarified that the governor has adequate constitutional options to resolve the issue.
Amid raging controversy over the Sutlej-Yamuna canal link, Punjab refuses to compromise over the water-sharing row with neighbouring Haryana by passing a unanimous resolution. Punjab Chief Minister Parkash Singh Badal, who is the leader of the House, moved a resolution in the Assembly saying that his state is facing crisis of water and does not even have one drop to share with others.
The House has passed a resolution this morning in which all the political parties of the state have unanimously resolved that circumstances being what they are, the SYL canal cannot be built. And they cannot allow it to be built in defiance of the rights of the state over its river waters. As you're aware, that the petition filed by the state government challenging the Article 78 on the Government of India's power to distribute water between the states is still pending before the Supreme Court.
के प्रधानमंत्री नरेंद्र मोदी की सरकार है देश में, उन्हीं की सरकार है पंजाब में और उन्हीं की सरकार है हरियाणा में. उन तीनों को साथ बैठ करके एक निर्णय दोनों राज्य के जनता के हित में करना चाहिए.
सुप्रीम कोर्ट ने एक अपनी स्थिति रखी है और बातचीत से इसका रास्ता निकलेगा.
A delegation of the Haryana Congress called on the President on Friday evening. They appraised Pranab Mukherjee of the situation arising out of the Punjab government's decision on Sutlej-Yamuna link canal. The Haryana Congress has demanded President's rule in Punjab.
इस किस्म के फैसले संघीय ढांचे पर सवालिया निशान लगाते हैं. हमारी फेडरल स्ट्रक्चर है हमारे देश का सर जो एकता का और देश की एकता पर खतरा साबित हो सकता है. इसी वास्ते राष्ट्रपति जी से कल मिले थे. हमने उनसे निवेदन किया था कि दोनों प्रदेशों में राष्ट्रपति शासन लगाया जाए क्योंकि कुछ ऐसे बातें आ रही हैं जो संघीय ढांचे पर जो है सवालिया निशान उठा रहे हैं वो देश के हित में नहीं है.
However, the Supreme Court has directed maintenance of status quo on land meant for the canal after Haryana alleged that the efforts were made to level the land. The delegation urged Mukherjee to save SYL canal, saying that this is the lifeline of Haryana. Bureau Report, Rajya Sabha TV.
On to Kashmir, and government formation talks between the PDP and the BJP seem to have hit a fresh roadblock. BJP's Ram Madhav today said that the stalemate that existed earlier is still continuing as the government cannot be formed on the basis of conditions. Madhav also clarified that the BJP will not consider any new demands till the time the coalition government is sworn in the state. The PDP has also indicated that the back-channel talks between the two sides have not yielded any result yet, a day after PDP chief Mehbooba Mufti met BJP President Amit Shah.
नहीं, पहली बात तो कोई और डिमांड तो मंजूर है ही नहीं, पहली बात. दूसरी बात, हमने जैसा कहा जो कुछ भी और एडिशनली करना है ऐसे अपेक्षा है वे सारी चीज़ें सरकार बनने के बाद बातचीत के द्वारा संभव है. हर राज्य सरकार को केंद्र से बात करके जो आवश्यक चीज़ों को मांगने का अधिकार होता है, बट सरकार को कंडीशंस पर बनाना संभव नहीं है.
In more news, Delhi's Patiala House Court today granted interim bail to JNU students Umar Khalid and Anirban Bhattacharya. The two were arrested in a sedition case last month after a controversial event on the campus on the 9th of February. Additional Sessions Judge Ritesh Singh granted the bail and directed both accused to furnish 25,000 rupees as a surety amount. Umar and Anirban had sought bail on the ground of parity with co-accused JNU Students' Union President Kanhaiya Kumar, who got bail in the case this month. With a quick break here, we'll be back with more national news in a bit. Stay with us.
GST, once raising debate and storm, now conspicuous by its silence. Not even brought for consideration in the budget session so far. What are the hitches? What holds this key bill back? Watch The Big Picture at 9:30 p.m. on Rajya Sabha television.
back. Let's get you some more news now. And the Indian Air Force is showcasing its biennial Air Force Show Iron Fist 2016 in Pokhran today. With a focus on Made in India, the Indian Air Force will demonstrate 22 types of platform and weapon systems, including the Akash missile for the first time. Frontline fighter aircraft, including the Sukhoi 30, Mirage 2000, Jaguar, MiG-29, attack helicopters and remotely piloted aircraft are also on display. All foreign-friendly countries except Pakistan and China are invited for the exercise, which has been attended by Prime Minister Narendra Modi and President Pranab Mukherjee.
It has a cruising speed of 70 miles per hour.
Meanwhile, in more national news, the communally sensitive region of Muzaffarnagar in Uttar Pradesh was on boil once again a day after two communities clashed over an alleged molestation of a girl. At least 6 people were injured in the incident. Both groups pelted stones at each other after the eve-teasing incident came to light. Security was tightened in the area after the clash. The police assured that all preventive measures have been taken to curb the issue from escalating. One youth was arrested. Communal tensions have remained high in the region after the violent riots in 2013 between Muslims and the majority Hindu Jats.
एक छोटी सी मामूली विवाद पे दो पक्षों में आपस में जो है पथराव की घटना हुई है और इसके बारे में पुलिस तत्काल मौके पे सूचना पाते पुलिस तत्काल मौके पर पहुंच करके उसको जो है स्थिति को नियंत्रण में किया और मौके पर पुलिस बल तैनात है और जो इसमें विधिक कार्रवाई है उसको विधिक कार्रवाई अमल में लाई जा रही है.
Now to a special report, and Nepalese Prime Minister KP Oli has said that the government is actively pursuing ways to resolve the Madhesi issue. In an exclusive interview to Rajya Sabha TV, he elaborated on the key issues in the Indo-Nepal partnership.
In his first interview to an Indian television channel, Nepalese Prime Minister KP Sharma Oli told Rajya Sabha TV that the Madhesis were playing the politics of pressure. And now realizing that it wasn't working, the community leaders are changing their tactics.
शायद वो इस नाम पर हमको दबाव देना चाहते हैं. अब मेरा कहना है उनसे, इसका कोई जरूरत ही नहीं है कि दबाव देने का. हम तो इतने ओपन हैं. ये देश मेरा ही इकलौता देश नहीं है, उनका भी है, सबका है.
Oli also says he's neither India's adversary nor China's sympathizer. But these days, he was talking to all nations to help economic growth in Nepal. Oli also dismissed reports that he wanted to make China his first port of call after becoming Prime Minister.
आकार हैसियत से जनसंख्या से बड़े और विकास में आगे जो हमारे पड़ोसी हैं उनका विकास से भी हमको लाभ लेना है. तो इसमें हमको झगड़ने का कोई आवश्यकता ही नहीं.
Oli visited India last month. After holding talks with Prime Minister Narendra Modi, he disclosed that all misunderstandings had been cleared with India. He spoke in detail on these subjects on Rajya Sabha TV. Akhilesh Suman's report for Rajya Sabha TV.
Well, you can watch the entire interview on Rajya Sabha TV's program Tarkash at 8:30 p.m. on Saturday and 7:30 a.m. on Sunday. Meanwhile, in more news, the Enforcement Directorate today issued a second summons to liquor baron Vijay Mallya. The ED has asked him to appear before the agency on the 2nd of April and record his statement in the alleged 900 crore rupees money laundering case.
Liquor baron Vijay Mallya has been given time till 2nd April to appear before the Enforcement Directorate. Mallya is facing charges of loan default by the IDBI Bank to the tune of over 900 crore rupees. The new ED summons came after the UB Group chairman on Thursday sought more time from the agency to present himself on a later date. The agency accepted his petition and gave Mallya the new date to join investigations in person. Earlier, the ED asked him to appear before them on March 18th. Meanwhile, the political blame game continues over the businessman's departure from the country.
Shri Vijay Mallya is the litmus test for Modi government's integrity to persecute those who have run away with country's money, as also to ensure that it does not implement its fair and lovely scheme to help evaders of holders of black money and people who have absconded with money of the banks.
अब उसके बयान पर बयान पूछ रहे लोग, यानी वो महत्वपूर्ण हो गया लेकिन देश का पैसा डूब गया. जनता का पैसा है वो बैंक में.
सरकार के संरक्षण में विजय माल्या देश से बाहर गए हैं और सरकार ये सब दिखावा कर रही जनता को. विजय माल्या अब देश में वापस नहीं आएंगे, सरकार चाहे जितनी भी कोशिश कर ले.
All I can say is the government is very serious. The finance minister has already said that whatever needs to be done to bring each and every single penny back, the government will act towards it.
The fresh summons to Mallya have been issued under the provisions of the Prevention of Money Laundering Act. Mallya has been asked to furnish documents related to his personal investments and finances, income tax returns for the last 5 years and passport. Mallya left the country on March 2nd and is believed to be in London. Bureau Report, Rajya Sabha TV.
And now let's take you through what else made news across the country today and nationwide. A special NIA court in Kochi set free 10 Iranians and a Pakistani national arrested from an Iranian dhow. The vessel was intercepted off the Kerala coast last year. The investigating agency submitted a report giving a clean chit to the arrested men. However, the captain of the ship has been charged with a minor offence and may have to remain in jail for some more time. All the 12 accused are currently lodged at the Kakanad district jail. BJP MLA Ganesh Joshi was arrested today for allegedly assaulting a police horse in Dehradun. The incident took place during a protest against Chief Minister Harish Rawat, which led to the amputation of one of its hind legs. The MLA from Mussoorie was arrested from outside a hotel on the basis of an FIR lodged against him. Landslides triggered by heavy rains blocked the Jammu-Srinagar highway, leaving hundreds of passengers and tourists stranded. The state has been receiving heavy rainfall for the past few days. There were no word from state authorities as to when the highway would be opened. According to the Met Office, though, rains and snow will continue up to the 19th of March. 2 CRPF Jawans were injured today in Chhattisgarh's Naxal-hit Dantewada district in separate incidents, while one Jawan was injured in a pressure bomb blast in Badigura forests of Kuwakonda police station early this morning. Another CRPF Jawan was shot by an arrow in Chipkal forest near the Kakekalyan police station limits late last night. And now let's get you all the news from poll-bound states in our segment, Election Watch. Modifying its May 2015 order, the Supreme Court today allowed publication of photographs of chief ministers, governors, as well as cabinet and state ministers in public advertisements. The verdict came on petitions by centre and states, including poll-bound West Bengal and Tamil Nadu. The states sought review of the judgment that barred publication of leaders' photos in advertisements except those of the President, the PM and the Chief Justice of India, saying that it infringed on fundamental rights. As part of the BJP strategy to face the polls in Assam, Kerala, Tamil Nadu, West Bengal and Puducherry, the party will use Modi government's achievements as what it calls additional weapon. BJP National Secretary H. Rajya said today that the centre's achievements in the economic sector and financial inclusion schemes like Jan Dhan, Atal Pension Yojana and Mudra Bank will be advertised to win the elections. Former Assam Chief Minister Prafulla Kumar Mahanta filed his nomination for the second phase of Assam Assembly elections today. Mahanta is contesting elections from the Behrampur Assembly constituency. His party, the Ahom Gana Parishad, is in alliance with the BJP for the 126-member state assembly elections. A full team of the Election Commission, including Chief Election Commissioner Naseem Zaidi, will be travelling to Assam next week to review poll preparedness. The officials are expected to hold a meeting with top officials of the state election machinery and representatives of various political parties on the 21st and the 22nd of March. The 126-member Assam Assembly will have a two-phase polling on the 4th of April and 11th. Another quick break here. We'll be back with the international news in a bit. Stay with us.
But these non-tuberculous bacteria, they cannot cause disease. T cells plays a cardinal role in protection against tuberculosis. Since leprosy and tuberculosis, they are like cousins. Leprosy is a disease which is not communicable unless until you touch a scar.
Watch Eureka with Dr. J.N. Agrawala, Chief Scientist, CSIR IMT, Chandigarh, only on Rajya Sabha TV.
Welcome back. Let's get you some international news now. In North Korea, test fired 2 more ballistic missiles that are likely medium-ranged ones. The test comes just a day after fresh U.S. sanctions were imposed on the isolated state. Afterwards, the U.S. called for Pyongyang to refrain from raising tensions. The action is the latest display of military power on the peninsula that roils with tension.
North Korea fired 2 more ballistic missiles, the latest in a series of rocket launches. Fired from the west coast of the Korean peninsula, one flew 800 kilometers towards the sea. The second disappeared at an altitude of about 17 kilometers. South Korea says they could be medium-range Rodong missiles that can reach all of South Korea and parts of Japan. Last week, North fired 2 short-range missiles.
우리 군은 최근 북한의 핵 미사일 개발 진척 상황을 엄중하게 인식하고 있습니다. 북한의 이번 미사일 발사는 유엔 안보리 결의에 대한 정면 도전이며
厳重な抗議を行いました。政府としては引き続き国際社会と緊密に連携し、毅然として対応してまいります。北朝鮮に自制を強く求めるとともに、いかなる事態にも
The development comes a day after the US imposed new sanctions on North Korea for its nuclear test and satellite launch last month. The UN Security Council has also imposed sanctions on the Kim regime. But North Korea remains defiant, even as its ally China did sign up for the new UN sanctions.
我们敦促朝鲜方面执行安理会相关决议。同时呢，我们也希望所有有关各方呢保持冷静和克制。 避免采取可能导致半岛局势进一步紧张的行动。
The new US sanctions freezes North Korean government property in the United States. It also bans US exports to or investment in North Korea. The sanctions came after outcry over Pyongyang's sentencing of an American student to 15 years hard labor. Meanwhile, the US and South Korea are holding their biggest annual military drills this month, which routinely generate tensions. But this year, North Korea threatened to launch nuclear strikes against the twin allies. Bureau Report, Rajya Sabha TV.
Now, a deal between the European Union and Turkey to stem the flow of refugees and migrants to Europe is hanging in the balance. While the outline of the one-in, one-out deal has been reached, the offer is falling short of Ankara's demands. The Turkish president, in fact, has said that Europe should look at its own record on refugees before telling it what to do.
Of course, EU and Turkey, we have the same goal, the same objective to help Syrian refugees especially, and also to have a new future in our continent in a bright manner.
Their goals may be the same, to stem the flow of refugees pouring in Europe, but European Union leaders and Turkey are yet to reach a consensus over a deal. An EU proposal has been offered to Turkey that would see Ankara given financial aid and political concessions in return for taking back all migrants travelling to Greece. But the incentives have been watered down from an earlier proposal, and despite hopes, it is unclear if a deal can be done.
I hope we will be achieving our goal to help all the refugees, as well as to deepen Turkish-EU relations, which is a good news for our continent and for the humanity altogether.
The outlines of the deal were last week agreed by Angela Merkel and Turkish Prime Minister, wherein it was suggested that the promised financial aid be doubled to Turkey, along with easing visa restrictions and a fresh push on talks over Turkey's eventual membership of the EU. But the deal caused resentment among other EU leaders, who say any deal reached must be acceptable to all 28 members. Merkel, however, says looking at the gravity of the crisis, an agreement must be reached quickly.
Ce que moi j'ai fait valoir, c'était que ce plan devait être global, c'est-à-dire concerner la Turquie, puisque la Turquie va accepter de réadmettre, de reprendre des migrants qui...
Dass es doch recht schnell erfolgen soll. Also es ist heute Abend schon darüber gesprochen worden, dass jetzt sehr schnell auch Personal zur Verfügung gestellt wird, weil man natürlich weiß, wenn es zu lange dauert, dass dann auch die entsprechenden Pull-Effekte da sind. Aber
Since January 2015, 1 million migrants and refugees have entered the EU by boat from Turkey to Greece. More than 132,000 have arrived this year alone, while tens of thousands are now stuck in Greece as their route north has been blocked. Bureau Report, Rajya Sabha TV.
And now let's take you through some more events making news across the world in Global Buzz. China and the US opened the world's largest nuclear safety center in Beijing. The opening ceremony was attended by US Energy Secretary and the head of China's nuclear agency. The center, a joint project between China and the US, is set to offer training on the safe handling of nuclear materials and the prevention of terrorist attacks on nuclear facilities. China's authority chief said that the center showed China's commitment to furthering nuclear safety. Australia's Senate passed voting reforms after a marathon session lasting over 28 hours, clearing the way for Prime Minister Malcolm Turnbull to dissolve both houses of parliament. He also called for an early election to end a hostile Senate. Independent and minor party senators elected at the last election in 2013 have stalled key aspects of the government's agenda. The Senate voting reforms would make it harder for smaller parties to enter parliament through vote-sharing deals. Cuba plans to remove a tax on dollars after Washington relaxed currency restrictions against the Caribbean nation. But it will only take effect when the government is sure that the U.S. measures really make transactions easier. Foreign Minister Rodriguez said that Cuba would remove a 10% tax on cash dollars. Earlier this week, the White House chipped away at a sanctions regime dating back to 1960 by relaxing trade and tourism restrictions. And now let's get you all the latest from the world of sports in Sports Beat. Saina Nehwal and HS Pranoy advanced to the quarterfinals of the Swiss Open tournament. Saina saw off Czech Republic's Kristina Gavenholt 21-18, 21-17 in a 34-minute pre-quarterfinal contest. She will next take on 7-seeded Japanese Sayaka Sato. In the men's singles, 13-seeded Pranoy also prevailed over 2010 Commonwealth Games silver medalist Rajiv Yusuf of England 21-13, 21-18 to set up a clash with the 16-seeded T. Sansom-Bunsok of Thailand. Senior Indian hockey women's team defender Deepika will replace Ritu Rani as the captain of the 18-member squad for the upcoming Hawke's Bay Cup to be held in New Zealand from the 2nd of April. Regular captain Ritu Rani has been rested for the tournament, which is being seen as preparatory event for the team ahead of the 2016 Rio Olympics. Canadian Milos Raonic battled past France's Gaël Monfils in late quarterfinal action at the Indian Wells. The 12-seeded Raonic defeated Monfils 7-5, 6-3 to set up a semi-final meeting with Belgian David Goffin, who ousted Marin Cilic in the other quarterfinal match. Liverpool secured a quarterfinal spot in the Europa League with a 1-1 draw against Manchester United to win the tie 3-1 on aggregate. Anthony Martial's 32nd minute penalty pegged Liverpool back at 2-1 on aggregate, but Philippe Coutinho's solo effort on the stroke of half-time meant that United were knocked out of Europe for the first time by an English opposition. And that's all we have for you on the news tonight. Thanks so much for joining us.